goes the way of OG. They smashed it out of the park here against Fnatic. There were some glimmers of hope for them, but to be honest, OG was in the driver's seats for the majority of the game. I'm here with Purge, Quinn, and Tigov, and we said that both teams should probably be fairly comfortable with the drafts that they had. T, why didn't it play out the way that we thought? It was going to be a little bit more even.
I mean, I don't think we need this panel to understand what happened, right? That top lane, it was disgusting. What was it? Visage died 5 times in 9 minutes, Doom died as well. That alone just kind of put it in like recovery mode the rest of the game. Fnatic did do very well at getting moments back in the game, but we get to watch a little montage here. For the OG fans, get to remember this laning phase.
It seemed like Jug was a bit of a solution against the Doom at later stages of the game, but the laning stage is also very good because he can just spin, and normally what happens is the Visage reflects a bunch of damage when damage is dealt, but he's immune during it, so there's just no trade. He just runs him down and kills him.
Yeah, I think also historically against this Visage hero, having heroes that just deny creeps and just slowly win the lane over time in this really obnoxious manner, like he can't deal with. He wants to kill you, he wants soul or something stacks, and if you just don't hit anyone until you 100-0 him, then he's just like, okay.
He'll just roll over and die. That's kind of what happened. We did have some big fights where it looked like potentially Fnatic making a little bit of a comeback, Purge.
Yeah, but even then in the late game fights, it just felt like they didn't have the best tools to win those fights. Visage's net worth was much lower because of how many times he died. And then on the other side, Ember was doing some decent damage, but he was forced to go a semi-defensive item build with the BKB right away. So he's like hitting these relatively high armor heroes. And yeah, maybe they kill Taiga sometimes. So Armel did his best, but it just felt difficult for them to crush through the whole OG draft when they didn't have that like strong Visage to also do damage.
Yeah, this fight lasted for like 2 minutes straight. It was of course the fight after OG got the Aegis. A lot of buybacks were used in this one as well because this seems to be the fight that if you don't win this, Quinn, you're probably going to lose it.
Yeah, I think when you talk about the Embers like having to go this defensive build, you look at, and when you talked about the OG players potentially thriving on lane, and I think BZM definitely did this game. The lane was like massively in Tango's favor in a lane that's like quite skill-based, and I think BZM turned up. And whenever you win the lane that hard, you have to usually you're burning Ember's mana all the time. He felt like he needed to go BKB, and then he kind of just feels like he's just on the back foot. He's not killing anyone fast enough. They're just chilling with Healing Ward.
Yeah, but for good measure, let's compare those two mid laners, Armel versus BZM in that mid lane. It was the battle between Ember and Pango. We have damage done, which Armel does end up winning.
Again, kind of cheated on Armel. He had the Keeper Light to help him to pump out some more damage. And for BZM, it was more about kind of control, right? He's standing up the fights for his team. The fight's quite long, sorry. So I think overall, damage might not make it look too good for BZM, but it was still a very good game from him.
Incredibly good game. I'm looking around because I've been told Tsunami is here somewhere, and I don't know where he is, so let's find out.
I've been roaming around. I managed to find a small contingent of Fnatic fans. My good friend here, could you introduce yourself?
Aries is just a beautiful Fnatic fan. Love see Dota.
Right on. What do you think of that game number 1?
They're just warming up. That's the main thing. Game 2, we're looking at that.
Okay, so more focused on the long term. You seem like a Fnatic bandwagoner. I bet Season 1, you probably weren't even paying attention to them. What's going on here?
Honestly, I didn't even know who Fnatic were for the first, like, 20 minutes of that game, but I'm a big fan now. Yeah.
Hashtag big fan, hashtag big fan. Danog, I know you. You've been around. What are you doing here? What are you doing watching Fnatic?
Well, European Dota is pretty trash, so I feel like it's going to be a pretty easy win in games 2 and 3.
Oh, I hear antagonism from the crowd. I got other people. I think you might be mistaken. I'm not quite sure. What are you repping over here?
LGD, the best team at the major. Of course.
Okay, you got some woos, but I think everyone might be at the wrong event. And you, my friend, you enjoying the Southeast Asian Dota, enjoying these 8 top teams facing off against one another?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to watch. I think both teams are just lucky that China aren't here, though.
I believe it. And you two, I mean, like, I don't recognize you without the sunglasses. What's going on here, John? Come on.
I forgot. I left them at home. Yeah, my pockets are open for goodies on the event, so I'm just ready.
Okay, so then how are we going to batch us then, Mike? Tell me, what's the plan? In Southeast Asia, when we go to somebody else's house, we end up bringing a gift. Naturally, we came from the south to the north here, and we did give them game number 1 here. And I don't know what this crowd's so damn happy about. We've given you a gift. You guys have responded in a rather rude way. Obviously, we're going to take game two, number 3. So don't get too damn excited. Right. This is just a courtesy game as we see how it goes back down. Game number 2. But if you're interested in meeting some of North America's finest, TSM FTX is actually doing a signing session. So be sure to check that out in the concourse if you're here at the arena. But meanwhile, we'll send it back to Shiver.
Thank you very much, Tsunami. Indeed, there's a lot of casting talents in those Raptor lineups. Let's go for seats. That's a way easier word. They are expecting a game number 3. And that means that Fnatic has to come back in game number 2. Quinn, what needs to change?
I think, I mean, just to be straight up, they need to lane better. I think when you're down this much, they're down like 4K sub 10 minutes. Like, it's just really hard to play the game like that, especially when you have heroes that are reliant on skirmishing, kiting, playing this pokey style. When you're behind, you don't have enough damage. So they're like, yeah, you can poke us all day. We have BKBs and Healing Ward.
Yeah, there has to be the threat for the kill that comes after that like first disable, right? Where you're like, okay, we have to commit, and if you don't have that, they're just always going to poke you back.
Yep, you gotta lane better. It sounds so simple. Gotta lane better, and that also means that all starts with setting yourself up better in the draft. And the draft is the second game of the series coming at you after this. We saw OG get off to a dominant start here in the first game of this best-of-3 series, and they're up against Fnatic, who now needs to win in order to keep their tournaments alive, because top 8 is nice. Both these teams are quite happy with that, but they want more out of this. They want to get top 6, and winning here will grant them top 6. Can they do it? Can we have a third game to the series? We'll find out. I'm joined by T-Gov, we got Quinn, we got Purge, and we should have a draft on our screen very soon as well. I want to ask a question regarding Windranger, because previously when we saw OG do as well as they did right now, Purge, the reaction was the game after that they picked it up first 2. Will you ban it out first 2 if you're Fnatic?
I mean, the pain of last game definitely came from how the Visage performed, and that came from Enigma denying creeps and also Jug being good at solidifying kills. So I feel like that's what's going to be on their mind, that they want to address more so. So I don't think you ban it.
Alright, well, they start with banning out the Razor. We got Fnatic on the Dire side and OG on the Radiant side, with first pick going to OG, therefore second and last pick for Fnatic. So far, in terms of changes, we had a Treant Protector removed from the pool. Previously, it was actually left in. And are we surprised to see Fnatic almost going into bonus time for their first bounty? That's unusual.
It's this discussion about Windranger, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Enigma or Windranger? Who are you most afraid of?
Enigma every single time, to be fair. I think if you play against OG, you need to ban this Enigma.
Oh, or Timber.
Oh, okay.
Alright, they're running it back.
Yeah, right. But still, again, you have to keep this Enigma in the back of your mind, because it just wins lanes too easily, it sets up your late game, and it's just hard to beat. It has push, you like buying the Wraith Pat. Yeah, overall I think it's going to be, I think other teams should be looking at it, for sure.
It does feel really nice to have these 4 position heroes that can be flexible on what utility item you want to buy. It feels like the teams that can always get those items just have better teamfight impact.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what Fnatic goes for 2-3. Generally, I mean, what they did last game, I think, is not a particularly good response to CK, so it'll probably be something entirely different. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Yeah, that's definitely different. I mean, the thing about OG for CK, or CK for OG, I think, is that they don't really play it offline, so it's not very much of a flex. It's pretty much just your Augie playing it, so you see this right off the bat. You can think about lane counters, you can think about game counters, like, you know what the carry is, at the start of the draft, which can be very nice.
That's something that OG has kind of leaned on throughout the major so far. Uragi, 17 games total for OG in this major. He plays 14 different carry heroes. Like, he has an incredibly big hero pool, so locking in a CK this early, it kind of removes that kind of spark that they sometimes have in the draft.
And it doesn't even necessarily have to be Uragi, maybe that's expected, but I mean, it is kind of a lane dominator off lane that kind of works for similar stuff that Mar goes for too. But Fnatic is going for AoE stun setup, so Morana's usually banned in second phase if you get too many setups, but they've got it this time.
That's the Enigma again. You gotta go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible the Kunkka was something of a preemptive pick, like they had some idea that, okay, the Enigma again, we have this Kunkka against Enigma in lane, it's like a pretty traditional counter. They also have the option of putting Kunkka mid and having this bottom roam. It's a pretty like classic C combo. They like this Kunkka bottom a lot. You port mid on bottom at like 3 minutes, and you arrow the guy off some side angle. It's like quite hard to avoid. You have to be really mindful of your HP as a mid hero. So maybe they thought Armel didn't have a good enough game last game, and they want to give him this like kill opportunity this game.
You also itemize quite well on the hero, where if you're crushing, you can just arm the BKB. If you're mid, you just rush the BKB. You're going AC. I think Kunkka into CK naturally just feels pretty good throughout the game, especially with the run buff as well.
You've even seen people do offline Kunkka with the Wraith Pact. I think Sacred might have done that, and I think they won that game.
Let me take away.
Well, they're taking their time once again. It's ban time. We got Rubik removed, of course. No Black Hole steals this time around.
I wonder if they'll address it other ways. Some teams try out Winter Wyvern to get that piercing BKB. Maybe a Beastmaster ban from OG as well.
Is this also? Are you still gonna ban out Windranger? Come on.
They might at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, you're more inclined to do things like that when you're second pick because you're not tied down, you're not scared of as many core picks because you just have the next 2 counter picks. So I think you have more freedom to ban something like the winner, to ban more comfort, and to just counter pick the cores.
Would set them up with tons of stuns on the OG side if they can't get it. But I feel like Fnatic has decent solutions right now. If they go down this continuous path of stuns into arrow combo, I feel like Windranger is definitely somebody that can be picked off often. Maybe you don't want to spend the spells on her, but she is easy to kill. Windrun's not as much of a problem.
I just like the fact that this hero is taking so much time in the draft. It's like, do we have to respect it, guys? Like we just lost our first game. If we lose this, we're out of the major. Do we ban the step win on it? I personally, I probably would. Because how much impact is it having in these games? The Gale Force, the Shackles, setting up. You don't really... Like, all you need to do is like poke in lane. And after that, you're good, right? Like, you don't have to do much else other than fire a shot at 15.
Yeah, the Gale Force, he's been using it very well. It's those, like, sort of ambiguous moments where you're half committed and he's like, okay, we're forcing a fight now. That can be a really effective way to deal with the enemy supports especially. They don't always have the best items to defend against that.
I think it'd be interesting to see if OG bans Dusa or one of these more like hyper-scaling carriers. That's what Fnatic typically likes, and I think Dusa coming like in the regionals, they would like first phase Dusa, pick it on 8. Like they like the hero very much, and it's a pretty traditional counter to both of these heroes. And I think it's also big time comfort for Fnatic.
I've seen it ban way more than pick though. Was the damage nerf really that significant? Because right before it got nerfed, it was like top 3 carries certainly.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
At the major so far, they kind of got scared, I think, with this Medusa style. I remember during the DPC, they were talking about how they're always trying to evolve as a team. But coming into the major, like, we didn't see the identity of their regionals quickly bleed into their major. Like, they became a new team in that kind of gap, I feel.
They did. They had a success with Medusa carry, and Quinn was on the receiving end, so...
Yeah, let me reduce the sound a bit.
You didn't do too bad.
I was alright.
You're alright.
Enigma again.
I'm not pointing any fingers. TSM's own, so I don't know if I'm in a position to critique them.
Yeah, Jabs is actually Poggers. He's one of 2 players to have played in every role, like 1 through 5 at a major tournament, which is incredibly impressive.
Definitely made that sign before last game's laning stage.
Ouch. Yeah.
Thanks, Purge.
Thanks, Purge, indeed. I must say, we see OG ban out both Underlord and Brewmaster. Still some team fight that they are expecting to come out of Fnatic that is removed from the pool. Speaking of heroes that are expected to come out, I did not expect Elder Titan. I don't think anyone does. This is the first one.
Unpicked at the major so far. Fog himself, the lad who literally sleeps and dreams about Elder Titan, says it's pretty bad as well.
Oh.
He's not a fan. Favorite hero, but not a fan.
I do think thematically it's quite cool in this game though. Whenever you have this Kunkka hero, it's like very important for the hero to scale well. You have plenty of follow-up damage because the hero, as the game progresses, has a hard time dealing damage on his own. And you also sort of want this like AoE random crap to like deal with the CK illusions, the Eidolons, just this gunk. I think like against these heroes, it's quite a cool pick.
But then the instant response of this Pugner, Fnatic, they need to take a fight in a specific area. The X, the boat, the follow-up from the ET. Pugner's also in, puts on the Neverward. Then you buy a Wraith back for a down. I feel like this big AoE damage that needs to be explosive. It's going to be mitigated from an item in one hero.
I agree with that, but I feel like ET is also a decent solution against that because he's lowering their base resistances down. So yeah, your damage is going to be reduced later on, but at least you've increased it in the first place. So if he can get good utilization out of his auras, it could be good. Plus he's great AoE. If you can land a stomp after a CK uses his ulti, that's amazing because it's not like you're just going to wake up those CK illusions always. So I feel like that AoE that he brings to the fight could be quite good if his laning stage also goes well. Maybe he's going to be killing a bunch of Eidolons or something.
This Ember is much more of a flex than the one in the prior game. I think Yuragi is sort of known for playing carry Ember or these like off-brand carry heroes that are like semi-carries and... Oh, wait, they have a CK. Alright, never mind then. I guess it's just mid. This Kunkka versus Ember matchup is pretty... It's pretty dicey sometimes. Kunkka can like run away with this really hard. I've seen Armel do it in the past against Yopaj and a few other players. So that matchup can be really...
And there's Medusa, yeah.
Very good.
I mean,
Enigma.
First pick CK, which you kind of expect to be a carry, and now you're playing into the Kunkka plus the Medusa. It's going to feel hard closing out the game. They might have great fun running through and skirmishing, but getting into high ground, breaking it down, it is going to be somewhat difficult.
Yeah, I think if you look at OG's heroes, there's also sort of a lack of like early game damage or tempo. They have it from the Ember, but you look at Enigma, Pugna, they're not heroes that bring it on their own. And so if their lanes go poorly, if say this Kunkka has a good start and there's sort of this brick wall forming and Zeus is just farming, she has his mana shield, it's hard for them to run in, it could turn into the stale game that OG is very unhappy with. Fnatic is just acquiring gold and OG is looking for an opening and can't find it.
I would argue with Enigma, CK as your laners, between the previous game, they should do pretty well on the side lanes. I think wherever this Kunkka goes, that lane should go well for Kunkka. But other than that, I'm kind of favoring OG to at least be able to catapult themselves into the game.
I mean, they've got Midnight Pulse at least against Dusa's quite a huge amount of damage if you keep her there. But I do like Fnatic's chances of playing behind her, since OG doesn't have the best target just yet. And they're actually going to amp damage in a huge way. I mean, if they get Stone Gaze setting in plus ET, they're going to do a huge amount of damage.
I think this last pick will be pretty interesting from Fnatic. They'll see all the heroes, and they have this Kunkka Flex going into last pick, so there's still a world where they can last pick some spicy offlaner. They can try and like mega lane counter the lane against Ember. There's still a few heroes left that can do that. So they have a few different ways they can take things. I think their draft is decently well-rounded right now, and if they wanted to like make it super structurally sound, like a Team Spirit group, you could always look for this typical melee stunny offlaner boy, and you have just this well-rounded lineup that you'd be happy scaling in any game with.
Which heroes do you think counter Ember the most in lane?
A lot of them are banned already. The Huskar and the Viper both banned just now. You can go nuclear with a route like a Necrophos, but there's a lot of reasons that that's kind of crappy in this game, so maybe the lane nuclear route is not as good. There's stuff like Shadow Fiend that we don't really see that much these days that is actually kind of cute this game, but I'm not sure if they would
It's underrated for sure. Very underrated hero. I honestly expected to see that a couple of times in the major.
This is actually a very cute Shadow Fiend game, but yeah, I'd be sick if they picked it. Armel does play that hero.
For OG, if you think about the offlane that's left, what is it? So Underlord's banned, Timber's banned, Rose's banned, so you still have the availability of Slardar and Mars, pretty much, for ATF's hero pool.
All reliable.
Yeah. I have no concerns with pretty much either of them, I don't think. Because Slardar allows for the quick Aegis, the fight, the go.
Mars gets banned. Would have been too nice with the wall blocking Medusa's arrows.
Alright, my bingo card's fully punched. It's just Slardar left.
Gotta be that.
Hey, maybe he's gonna play new hero. Who knows? There's still an option for that.
He's thinking.
I don't like it very much against Dusa.
No, it's more about like it's not the lane, it's about the game, right? The Roshan, the pace, the fact that you can group and go.
Yeah, but even later stages of the game as well. The minus armor isn't really good until Mana Shield is gone.
Yeah, I mean there is an element to it that a lot of OG's damage is like they have this random casual stuff, and then they need some oomph from some point, like this TK blowing up a dude. Okay, so
I think that's an unpicked hero, if I'm not mistaken.
That is an unpicked hero as well.
Unpicked hero. That is the second one in this series.
I've seen Amar play the hero before. The one game he played it that I remember, he died a bunch of times in lane, but then he just ended up somehow recovering in a huge way. So it's definitely a hero he has comfort with.
Yeah, the hero will do pretty decently in lane, I think. They will lack a bit of kill threat early, I think, but there is a possibility that they have this slow encroaching into Fnatic's area. Once he gets this Vanguard, they have to commit like 4 heroes to kill this guy, so it's possible he just starts walking into the woods, farming and doing this classic Amar top net worth thing that he does on these fat offlaners.
There's going to be some of these fights where the Centaur, the Ags with the damage, plus the Neverward of Pugner, plus the Wraith Pact on the Enigma, if Fnatic tries to localize a fight inside the ET plus Kunkka, they're going to do zero, close to zero, like legit. Fnatic will have issues if OG are available like to throw down their spells and items. Like they kind of need a hero that can poke OG a little bit to bait out a T-spell or to bait out the Wraith Pact and then look for a fight after. Because Fnatic, they're kind of slow and clunky. They need the Medusa to come online and then play behind her.
Yeah, I mean, they're in an interesting position because there are a few heroes like Pangolin that can pick from mid that in terms of lineup integrity give Fnatic a lot, but you're picking it into a pseudo-counter matchup. Is that a mid Earth Spirit?
Ooh.
So that's sort of like a similar vein to the Pangler in that it gives you like this lineup integrity. It's good against what OG has. It gives just like disruption and stuff. But Ember is traditionally a counter to the Earth Spirit mid.
Offlane jabs.
Is it really?
Yeah, jabs will play it.
Holy poggers!
Okay.
That is pretty hype, I'd say. Is it good? I wanna ask a question because before the draft started, we said if Fnatic wants to have a shot at coming back in this game, they had to have better lanes. Did they draft better lanes?
I mean, at this point, the lanes are a little bit weaker in my opinion. I think their overall concept is very Fnatic, but it's the trust that they have. Jabs had a pretty terrible game 1, right? But the fact that his team has gone into the second game, allowed him to pick an offlane Earth Spirit on an elimination game, that shows a lot of trust between them. And that alone instills confidence. Like, that's all I gotta say.
All right.
I just worry about their dual lane. What does Earth Spirit lane with to be really effective? I'm not sold on it. You can't really put it with Morana that well, so I don't know.
I think you look for Armel to have a better laning stage this game. I think this matchup is one that can snowball wildly out of control, and he's very, very comfortable in the Kunkka. I think if Fnatic wants to succeed, Armel needs to have a better game than the last game, and he can pop off quite easily this game.
All right, all eyes on Armel. You heard it here. It's over to our commentary team. OD Pixel and Fog, take it away.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for game 2 now between OG and Fnatic. Folks, we're getting some crazy stuff in now, coming out from Fnatic on this game where their backs are against the wall. What do you make of it? We're getting an offlane Earth Spirit, we're getting Elder Titan picked up. I mean, you're a huge fan of this hero. What do you reckon about it in this game?
Huge fan of this hero, not in this patch, unfortunately, but I can see why they went for it. A lot of different combo plays. They're never going to have to worry about the Enigma not having this cancel for the BKB. They have two different things with the Stone Gaze, with the Earth Splitter, if you time it, like kind of pre-time it a little bit when you see Black Hole coming. And also, I think for the laning phase, something that they're looking for to deal with these Eidolons, because I think people are trying to figure out what to do. These magic-resistant Eidolons are a problem. Taiga knows how to abuse it very well, so it's interesting, it's different, it's a throwback, it's a completely different draft that I think we've seen this entire meta. This actually goes back to like different tournaments. Medusa, right, versus TK, this is not something that we've seen.
But this is, something that we know that Fnatic, Raven, very strong at having this lineup where everything is built around his Medusa. We'll see if it works out here for Fnatic. It has to if they want to stay in the competition. As we get ourselves to game 2 of this best of 3, of course, OG up that first match. On OG's side of things, it seems like a lot more sort of a strong hero than we come to expect. It's a little bit different with the Centaur coming out with the last pick. I mean, do you feel this makes a nice fit here for OG's heroes?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like exactly what T was saying toward the end there about this damage mitigation. It's something that OG's done for years, dating back from their original lineup, of course. If he gets an Aghanims, they have another Ward, they have that pesky little Wraith Pack, can definitely see the problem that it does versus a lineup that doesn't move around the map easily. When Medusa shows up, to a fight, right, she's just immobile. She'll be stuck in place there, so could see that damage mitigation definitely coming into play. But yeah, very curious to be watching the mid matchup. This is the one definitely to look at in this one, the Kunkka versus the Ember. Armel last game, he did pretty well, I would say, on the Ember Spirit to just try to make space all over the map and just do all the things possible, but they were too far behind from the laning phase. Right? The jabs, he needed something, he needed just some more out of that lane to be able to actually have a better impact, because he felt like glorified support. He's gone for his Earth Spirits this time. Very interesting approach. Don't know if it's going to work, but a thing that can pierce into backlines, start fights, get onto this pesky Pugna, get onto this pesky Taiga Enigma, but we'll see if it works out for him.
Absolutely, a very exciting decision from Jabs to bring this out here in this all-important game. We'll see what sort of performance he can come out with, and if indeed he can get these clutch silences and jumps onto these mobile heroes of OG, such as BZM.
And we'll see how he does. I think the biggest thing for me is how he's going to do in the lane. This looks like a pretty weak lane that Fnatic has right now. The Mirana Earth Spirit versus Pugna's TK. Pugna's TK is like the strongest lane we've seen so far. Nothing to take advantage of it, so yeah. I'm going to be watching mid and bottom mostly. A lot of fun lanes though, because top there's the ET versus the Eidolons too. I'll be darting all over the place.
I mean, and talking about the ETs, you said you sort of had doubts of the hero as it is, and it's the state that we're getting in this patch. What sort of strength does it have? And what do you think the Fnatic did see that they feel that this hero would be the one to fill the gap?
Well, they saw this TK, so he's got control and decent damage to be able to deal with the TK, and then they saw the Enigma, so he's got the way to stop Black Hole from a distance, stop even the BKB Black Hole, and in laning phase, he'll have that bonus damage from those Eidolons as you see right now. Plus 37, he's going to be able to clear out a couple of them with some swings, though. Does get denied in his face, sadly. But it's going to be able to secure that lane for Raven. And I think that Fnatic has definitely gone for a much better laning phase this time around. And looking at mid, you can definitely imagine that Armel could just pull away with this one quite well. But BZM, what we saw last game, he was really dominant on the Pango mid.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's sort of like 15 to 11 or something ridiculous on the KDA. He had an insane impact from his mid.
Armel's very familiar with this matchup, though, as I think Quinn was saying. He's played this one so many times.
Some very nice damage done to BZM here at the start. BZM will have to play it careful after he gets the money for the bottle out.
You don't have to worry about the bottle. You just get your bracers, you've got that damage, you've got that sustain. We'll see how BZM is able to withstand the pressure of this Armel Kunkka.
Down bottom, do you sort of see any chance for Fnatic to find opportunities to get that arrow set up with jabs going in, or is that just never going to happen against these heroes?
They could catch Seb on the side, for sure. I don't think they'll ever kill this TK. If they do, I would feel it's a pretty big mistake for Yuragi. As mid, they actually missed the BZM. Missed the stacking of his camp, of his small camp. Pretty rare to see that from these mid laners.
Armel doing fantastic here. BZM. He's got to be careful. These Tidebringer hits now Really adding up in terms of damage. Put the bottle out.
9 to 6 and
He's
3.
crushing it. This is why you see Fnatic slapping out the Kunkka pick nice and early in the draft. They know how well Armel can play that match.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be.
Looking at top Centaur, Mars is still able to farm nicely versus the Deuce having that big base damage. Is a 9 base damage advantage. Taiga's actually just gone to jungle. Doesn't want to have to deal with the Elder Titan, killing his Eidolons. He's just going to farm up there and they're just going to leave Amar on his own. Probably going to make his rotation back over, but he's going to jungle quite a bit. So the ET, I would say that it did its job, right? The pick that they've gone for to push that Enigma out of the lane.
Dude, he gets so many denies mid here.
I know, he's got to be normal.
18 to 12. He is destroying this mid.
Back base he goes, refills up, grabs boots. Got a significant level advantage from those denies already.
I mean, is there any sort of moves that we could expect from OG to try and help out in the mid, or is that just not going to happen?
I guess Taiga could, if he feels like he can leave Amar up there, because Amar already has the Ring of Health, he might just look to just go for the runes, just take care of that, and maybe just throw a stun, a casual stun, but pretty tough to gank Kunkka. You usually have to bring 3 heroes. DJ, we'll get a nice courier snipe. And Jabs is farming very well down bottom already with an Urn finished up.
Armel's just pretty much a full level of XP ahead of BZM. Go for a bit of a setup with the X-Mark and Torrent.
And Januel's actually the one to rotate first.
Mid! Ooh, we nearly had it there. In fact, he might still get a chance. He does. Armel! This mid lane, he's playing it perfectly. He could not be doing any better here. He is completely crushing BZM.
And that's exactly what they need this game, like we were talking about last game too. This one even more so. He's going to be 6, and Ember's going to be 4 when he comes back. They could just set up for another one.
Another wave taken completely away from BZM. He's getting minimal amounts from this mid lane. It's going to be a slow start for him on the end of this game.
Level 6 near phase boots.
I see that. Double the value from the gold and the lane, and of course the thing to take into account as well, the amount of XP that he's just been able to deny from BZM.
And they're already getting all those stacks going. Armel stacks this small camp. We see DJ backs up since he has this Earth Spirit who's not really getting pressured. Double stacking, so they have Ancient and Hard Camp and Small Camp already stacked up. Januel, now he's just looking around to follow Taiga. Plus 114 damage. He has those Eidolons with it.
Without a doubt, this first 5 minutes going so much better for Fnatic in comparison to what they went through in the first game.
Jabs had 4 deaths or anything like it.
Quite a different story this time around.
And look, they're setting up on mid. DJ, they have the X.
What they can do, BZM, good slide dodge. Very nice there. Able to come in at the same time that Armel tries to drag him back.
6-minute rune.
Looks like it's going to be BZM. Nice, they're also bringing over rotation from Fnatic, and it will end up being bottom, so DJ to make sure that BZM won't be able to grab that. Would have been a nice one for the Ember.
They could potentially set up for Iragi here with this DD. Not quite 6 on Jabs, but looking at Jabs' item build, this is kind of cool too. Completely rushing the Spirit Vessel this game to deal with the healing and all that like, damage mitigation that could be coming out from Pugna. I like it. Gotta have it super early. And then they can pretty easily kill the TK. If he has that Vessel, once they get the charges going.
Armel is ready to use his power that he's built up in the mid on these side lanes. He's going to look towards Amar, gets the time, bring a hit. There's the setup with the X-Mark, the boat coming in. As Amar get the connection. Straight on top of him. Pop Stampede, that's the snakes. Ooh, and drive, he's going to be there to finish the job. He's in position, there he is on the Elder Titan, takes him down. Amar will fall.
Fnatic on point. DJ continues to stack too, so while they're doing all the, while they're winning the lanes, they're also getting those massive stacks with the Medusa.
This is a great start from Fnatic. Armel, of course, going to go straight to BKB on the phase boots, making sure that he's just this unkillable hero. Just dishing out insane amounts of damage and has that fantastic setup, which is going to make it even easier for sort of DJ and Jabs, even John Well as well, to just follow up with these combos that they have at their disposal.
It's going to be a very good frontliner. BKB Kunkka letting your Earth Spirit cast all his spells freely, letting Medusa position herself freely. Excellent start. Now, on top of Seb. Jabs doesn't want to. As soon as Nether Ward gets placed down, he's nope.
Over in the mid. Again, I mean, BZM has to be careful. We saw last time, nice light dodge to avoid the combo, but...
Oh, are they building double urn? DJ, you already have a Vestal, I think, finished up on your Spirit. You're going to sell your urn. He's got it coming, but Jabs literally has Vestal done.
A little bit awkward.
All right.
Maybe they expect to be in different parts of the map making moves.
You definitely don't want to ever get an urn charge when you have a teammate with a Vestal. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if he does sell it up. Very early though. So with that Vestal, CK easily able to get killed from any rotations, but they have to get the charges. So Jabs maybe looking to get some movement around the map soon. And speaking of movement, BZM. He's actually looking. And yeah, we did get the spell. DJ losing some gold, sadly, but...
Mel is ready to look for some kills here, Tiger. Will be the target, Mel. And the X mark once he gets in range. There it is, Raven also wants to head over, get involved in this kill. I'll try and get the money over to the Deucer.
And that's
Raven will get it.
And now they smoke immediately, go for the CK, go for a big kill with this Vestal charge. Should have more than enough damage to be able to do so. Let's see who they get.
Absolutely. Anybody that Armel catches, almost certainly going to die here.
They want Yuragi. If they get BZM, it's great, but Yuragi is the key, because they know he's the only one having that really good game right now on OG.
Seems two of them can find him.
Oh, they know.
Well, and Jabs remains with this smoke. They're closing upon him. There's a side set here for the CK. They're straight in. Keep him locked down. Arrow comes in as well. The CK surrounded by the three of them. No way to escape. Fnatic. The trio of heroes here, finding the big kill, the catch that they wanted, and now they can look to swing around on this bottom lane and try and pressure this tier 1 tower. The biggest kill they could have found, and they find it.
And the picks all making sense, the lane setups all making sense. Raven all not at the top, but having an excellent game because of that ET. Amar, now he's got the Vanguard. He's just being this pesky hero, just tanking tower. Raven can't really trade with him because he also has Chip Vest. Pretty fortunate that Amar finds that too.
And a lot harder for OG to really make moves on towards Raven. Highly likely that TVs will come in and they'll be able to protect Raven.
They were going to try BZM with the haste rune, but immediately Raven goes mid. They have a siege wave too, so now Fnatic might start pressuring 2 towers, and OG is going to have to react somehow.
If they can get anything around the mid also, Yuragi. Got to be a bit careful. Start to push forward. Bottom lane, Jabs sticking around to finish off the job down here. Do so, each team able to take the side tier 1s. 4-0 Fnatic. Once again, the three of them ready to go. That combo that they have at this stage of the game, OG, they will lose heroes to.
Punishing this greed. This time around, OG were not able to get the kills that they did last time with that Enigma to make him look like a non-greedy hero.
See if they can find a mark. Just up a Vanguard, but highly likely they'll be able to still burst through him. If they land everything here, X marks straight back into the arrow. Very smooth combo here from Fnatic. No chance for Amar to get away. Fnatic. Very nice here with this kill combo. OG, they've got to be careful. They've got to be prepared for these moves to come coming in consistently every time. Pretty much the ultimates are up for Fnatic.
Armel is about to have BKB done. He's 500 gold away. It's crazy how fast he's getting it. I think he's going to get Black Hole all game again, but like we said, tons of solutions that Fnatic does have for it this time around.
And they're ready to make sure that Tiger does not have as easy of a time as he did last time. Those solo Black Hole opportunities that he was jumping at.
They're trying to get Jabs bottom. Idolens are coming in. Jabs very aware of it though. And with all this passive play, that they're able to step back. Look at the stacks Fnatic has in their triangle.
I mean, Raven, he is set up to have a fantastic start here on the farm.
Look at this Ancient.
That's a huge amount. And not really something that it feels like OG can really do anything about. I mean, especially with the start that Fnatic's had, and the fact that OG just don't really have heroes that can contest or try and take these stacks away.
They have the blink on Amar. They also had massive stacks on the side of OG, so perhaps if they're gathered and healthy, With the Centaur, they could look to go in there, but they're going to need everybody to go for this Medusa, because the counter gank from Fnatic is amazing. They have Kunkka, they have Earthspray, they have Mirana, they have so many different forms of catch if OG doesn't get that.
I'm going to try and sweep over the map here with the smoke on the three of them.
Because they know this is going on right now.
Yeah, Raven sort of out of the top lane, out of the mid lane, out of the jungle as well. They know that the spot on the map will be in. Making that move is very, very hard. They may even just sort of settle for trying to make a play towards Jabs instead. That's Raven. He's going to be able to finish this
so fat. He's going to be so farmed on this. Almost a full Manta.
I mean, Step will step up. He's going to put the vision down. Bottom lane, they'll look towards Jabs. If Jabs can get away from him, he's going to try for the TP out. Maleficus is back up, so Jabs will fall. More than happy to be making that space to ensure that Raven's farm continues to go incredibly well. I mean, that's the Manta done, so now Raven, a very tough target to jump and burst and stop him from getting the Stone Gaze off of the team fight.
They've got the ward down. They watched him farm this. Level 11.
They're going for Uragi. Zarmel, he's got the setup here, and once again, X-Mark into the arrow, jump forward, Seb trying to heal up Uragi to save him, but he cannot keep him alive. Yamar on top of John well, but the Moonlight Shadow's up. Mar himself not having any protection at the front, so Fnatic, they're able to walk this off. OG can't find anything in return. BZM is around the mid lane. Fnatic a little split up on the way that they're retreating from this. John well gets into the trees, TP's away. OG won't be able to punish Fnatic for getting that big kill on the carry.
They just look so much more comfortable with this draft. With the Kunkka to set up plays, just multiple different ways to set up everywhere. Now having deep vision, they see Amar as well, and they put deep vision around the Ancients too.
Jump in mid Jabs. Quite able to hit the slow, so Amar able to stampede out of this. Emoji, it's a lot of running away. Fnatic, just this pressure, making sure that Armel and Raven, they're both able to farm to their heart's content. This Medusa is just going to be so damn massive.
I don't know, it's going to be really difficult for them to kill, because anytime she gets Stone Gaze off, it feels like OG's going to have to reset and run away. But they do have ways to reset. They have Centaurs, so... Let's see, double Blinks are ready.
Fnatic's already able to back off.
Taiga also has Blink. Don't think they'll be aware of that one. Fnatic have so many different ways to be able to play around it.
And then made him Armel, quick step up onto Seb. They're going to take him out to prep a vibe, but he's going to start ticking down the Spirit Vessel damage. He's gone. Jump in the mid, they'll commit for the Remnants, but Armel pops the BKB. They'll lose DJ.
Taiga's in.
Taiga's in. The black hole. He's got the two of them, but it will be put on top Jab. In with the silence. That means Armel's able to get out to the side. Raven's in with the Stone Gaze. OG, they've got to back off. BZM gets locked down. Now it's Fnatic turn towards Uragi as well. Amar jumps in with the stop to try and help out. But Amar and Uragi, they've got to retreat. As there we have quick reaction to their Jabs, giving his life to get in there, the silence coming into play, stopping that black hole. I mean, if Taiga was able to continue with that one, Armel was going down for sure. An excellent save there from the offlane Earth Spirit.
So many different ways to cancel it early on. From a distance as well, that's why they've gone for this. The ET, the Earth Spirit, either one of them would have been able to cover that front, but just the ET takes a little bit longer. So perfect play there from Jabs. And they get the connection on the Ember Spirit is the important thing. Armel throwing the Torrent onto him afterwards so they can finish off that Ember Spirit.
Very close to OG losing even more in that fight. They had to back off as soon as the Stone Gaze came out from Raven.
Playing so fast.
Now Seb, they continue again with this vision. They're able to set up onto Seb. They jump in, take out the Pugna. Fnatic, 9-3, 2K lead, completely ruling this early game against OG. And with a lineup that's only going to get stronger around Raven's Medusa.
And they still have this deep ward, so they see Uragi.
Going to try for him again. Set up for Jabs. The X-Mark, he needs help. Amar's going to try and jump in with a Who Stop, but the boat's already out. Uragi's gone down again. Fnatic.
Everything.
Playing it fast here with the four of them. They don't even need Raven, just the four of them here. They're doing everything. And they're dealing with OG. OG, they just can't react to this right now.
Everything is hitting on the side of Fnatic. Everything is going perfectly. Every single rotation, it's connecting. They're going for the core kill, they get the core kill. OG, they're not too far behind. It's still only a 2K lead, but you're starting to really feel how are they going to ever deal with Raven. If this black hole comes out, there's always things to address, even when there's BKB. And if Raven ever gets Stone Gaze off, then there's no way that black hole is ever going to be doing anything.
Taiga, he's going to have to hit some massive ultimates this game, and as we say, it is not an easy game to do. So a little easier, of course, when the BKB's done, But before that, highly likely the Fnatic are going to be guaranteed to continue to control this game and make sure that OG never get anywhere close to making moves on their Medusa. Raven, as safe as ever, now stepping up nearly 2.5k ahead of the farm of Jiragi, and that distance is only increasing with every minute.
It's not even just gold. You pull up the experience. Look at the levels that Fnatic has. 2 level 15s. The Kunkka and the Medusa, 3 levels over their counterpart. Very significant. They both have talents already online. Those 15 talents are quite massive, especially for Medusa. Now he does, I mean, he has that the 12%, so almost back to what he used to be in her old form.
What a lane, BZM. For a bit of a dive around the tower. He's not going to be able to get a kill out of this. At least just keeping this wave pushed down. Maybe seeing if they can set up to take another tier 1 away from Fnatic. It's not going to be easy.
John, you were mentioning, Taiga, his BKB, when he's able to get it, there's still a lot of things he's just got to watch out for. Earth Splitter, plus that Stone Gaze, the 2 big ones, but also just sheer damage. If he doesn't catch the Kunkka or the Medusa, they'll just kill him inside of it too. So yeah, hard game for Taiga. A bit more of a passive style this time around.
I mean, for OG, sort of from their perspective, what do you feel that their plan is? What's the next move going to be? Are they just going to hold back and wait until these BKBs are done, wait until Yuragi's ready?
I would imagine until at least that BKB is done. I don't think they can wait until Taiga. If they wait too long, I think they're just going to get super out.
Fnatic looking for Yuragi. Yuragi, he'll get the Phantasm off. They know which one the real one is. They're able to catch him in the combo. Yuragi definitely going down again here as Fnatic just not letting this DK get any space to farm. They're keeping Yuragi held back.
Potentially a Roche now. And OG? I don't think they can fight around there either.
And look at Raven. Next fight, he's going to have the Skadi done. It was 19 minutes in, he's going to have this Manta Skadi Medusa.
Well, I don't know if they'll have damage for him. They'll have to fully isolate Raven. And he has Brum as well, too. He's got the Vlads. They're going to have the Wraith Pact actually at a very early time. Taiga's just going for straight Blink BKB.
And once again, as we saw, Fnatic, I think it's like this war. They pretty much had it out for full duration. It's given them excellent information on sort of what sort of backup is around for Yuragi. They know when Yuragi's on his own in that triangle, and they've killed him multiple times now in that position. Back in action, Raven. He's got the Aegis picked up for himself, so there is no way that this Medusa is dying in a team fight, especially for the next 4.5 minutes.
Eyes on Taiga, 5-man black hole still needed. It's going to be a bit of a slow game really for OG, as Fnatic's going to be constantly hunting now with all
this. There's Jabs, coming up with the silence. CM, unannounced the side, pull backstage, got another Remnant prepared.
So done.
Be able to jump out once more, make sure the Fnatic can't take him out this time.
Fnatic can just keep hunting. Every time the Jabs feels like he sees any opportunity, he can just keep rolling in to look for these plays. OG, they're just sitting back farming. They're not looking to make any plays whatsoever.
Has the halberd.
I mean, they're farming. They are getting quite a bit of farm. That's why you see them only 3k gold lead. Yep. But it is the Enigma also taking a lot of farm off the map.
Yeah, understandably so. I think OG as a team making sure that Taiga's BKB timing is prioritized.
It's not an easy game for them. And there's the Wraith Pact done. So Rana, DJ hasn't finished. They have the Brum, they have the Wraith Pact. And they have the Medusa Mana Shield that's going to be incredibly strong when they are this far ahead. On Medusa in particular, 5,000 gold above your counterpart.
That's insane. Raven about to hit onto level 18, get the crit out for Tristalis. Everything really coming together at some of the faster times you'll see on a Medusa.
Okay, 2,000 HP, 2,000 mana pool. One of the more farm Medusas I think I've seen this time.
Yeah, this is perfect stuff here for Raven. Fnatic as a team with their lineup, they just set the stage to perfection. It doesn't get any better here for Raven on his Medusa.
No.
Taking these tier 2s, of course OG, no interest of turning up the defense right now. They're still focused on getting these BKBs done, getting themselves to a point where they feel that they can go in, not taking down the Medusa startings, but maybe being able to pick apart the supporting cast around Raven's Medusa.
Not going to be easy. Armel has a full AC finish now too, so everybody that much tankier.
Fnatic, they can keep going here.
They're going to poke high ground.
2 minutes and 40 seconds on the Aegis. Fnatic, they're not going to stop this push. They'll keep it going up to the high ground. See what they can force out of OG. OG, they're going to have to do something, otherwise they may just lose a racks here around this 22-minute mark.
It's the AC now delivered. Tower's starting to drop that much faster.
Stomp as well, making sure the Tiger is going to get a chance to think about getting in the arrow. It is straight away, he catches him. Mounts to the side, Seb is healing him up. And keep Tiger safe, but the bow comes crashing down towards Tiger. He's out of the game for 44. He has got a buyback that he can consider. They still want to try and defend this OG, but the tier 3, it's gone down. The rack's exposed. Raven continuing to push him hard, jumps into the hoof stomp. They can take down Raven the once, he's low on the mana.
8 to 2 minutes. Armel comes back also.
So hard for OG to approach this defense. Jabs, he's ready to get straight, and he's going to go to the back lines. Looks towards Seb, he's in with the silence, the magical damage, it's enough. Seb's out. Over to the side, Seb will buy back. DJ jump in on towards DJ, they've taken out DJ. Jabs, able to roll away in time. Amar pushing back Raven, but Amar, BKB's out. X-Mark into the torrent, they take out Amar. Fnatic, they did lose the two of them, DJ and Jabs. Might be enough to stop Fnatic from pushing for more. If OG's got anything else to present, Tiger smoked up, trying to close in on Fnatic, but Fnatic will back off.
This is a 4v3 right now. Fnatic has to be a bit careful.
They're still closing the gap here. EZM drives the slight change there, but they're not going to get a catch.
They know Genwell's on the side. Yuragi smoke broke.
They're going to turn towards the trees instead. Well, is able to get the stomp. Oh, he's actually away. Oh, a lovely little escape there. The Elder Titan, Fnatic, they won't even lose John Well. They get them out of there. So a very, very good retreat here. But OG not able to get any of the catches.
Creep wave comes in as BZM's walking up to go for the chains.
Again,
beautifully done by Genwell. Oh, creep wave. Evil creep wave.
Oh, you're right, the RNG there, both chains. Not heading the way of the hero.
And Fnatic gets away there. That's the important thing. As the Aegis was about to get reclaimed in about 20 seconds.
Raven well on the way towards his next pickup. He's got 3k gold in towards the butterfly that you can look for. And of course, at a stage of the game where there's going to be no sight of any true strike on the cause of OG. This evasion is... I mean, it already feels like he's unkillable. Once that's online, I don't know how they take down this Medusa at all.
No, because it's not a natural build-up. Yuragi can't just be like, I mean, maybe he can. He might have to just be like, I have to go for MKB, but it does not feel good as a CK to have to feel like that. Jab's about to have his BKB finished up too, so it's going to be even easier for him to commit into the fights. See the level 20 talent also for Raven come out. One of my favorite talents. Been there for a long time. I love the double stone gaze. Well, if you face it twice, you're able to get double stone gaze, but the duration of it is pretty crazy.
OG, they have now got all the BKBs.
Okay.
All the three of them. BZM, Yuragi, and Tiger. So BKB's up, and the Aegis leaving in the hands of Raven. Maybe an opportunity to make a move, but doing it outside the base, really a huge risk. They lose a team fight, OG, and almost certainly Fnatic's going to be knocking at their doors moments after.
Raven is just so farmed. It's actually insane how big he's going to be. He's going to have the butterfly finished any moment now. After the small crit too. Somehow they're going to have to isolate this Dusta. They have to kill everybody else besides her at the start of these fights on OG, and it's looking harder and harder. Even though that net worth lead isn't continuing to grow, it's feeling more and more difficult because the spread of the net worth. It's on 4 OG heroes. It's not like it's all getting put into the CK. Another tower. DD does spawn bottom. BZM
wants to get it.
They're going to connect the arrow. They got the arrow.
They did. They knew he was going for it. BZM will be able to bottle the DD, but it'll cost him his life. BZM gone for a minute. No money for the buyback. Lining up to try and get his axe built, and it's quite the window here for Fnatic to have another shot, taking away barracks from OG.
Literally getting all the connections every single time in this game.
Butterfly done on Raven. 26 minutes in, insane items to see on this Medusa.
And the perfect complement from his teammates too, like we mentioned. The AC, the break pack, and they even have the drum on Genwell, so perfectly buffed up. And the highest amounts in any. I kind of imagine that would have been the case with how farmed she is. Amar?
Going to try and start to poke at Raven. They'll quickly turn. Jabs is ready to roll in as well, keeps this Amar centaur control. Juragi tries to help out, but Jabs, he's in with the BKB. He's going to dive further to keep the ultimate ticking down on Amar. Amar will make it back to the base, but the space is made here for Raven to keep pushing on onto the barracks. They can have a chance to jump. 5 seconds until BCM's back in. Tiger does have the BKB Black Hole ready to go, but the melee racks is taken out. Fnatic, they'll start to head back. Juragi attempting to poke here at Raven, but Raven really doesn't care.
Stop by 2.
Storm into the ult, into the silence, catches the bow for the BCM. He has to put the BKB to retreat. OG getting so low there to the combos of Fnatic. As Fnatic easily able to take those melee racks, they'll back off around the safety of Raven's Stone Gaze, as once again, OG unable to do anything or take anybody away from Fnatic's push.
And Fnatic making sure they don't overextend at all, playing it nice and patient, just take out a tower, take out the racks, immediately back away. They got what they came for. Another item soon to be finished up for Raven, probably, after this butterfly, as he's already, she feels immortal. OG trying to get some vision out of the map to try to take perhaps the next fight around the Roche. They're going to attempt it themselves.
It's a risk, but
it's a risk they might have to take.
Indeed, at this stage of the game. OG, they have to take their chance here around Roshan.
They can barely, they probably can't even kill the Deuce once if that Aegis comes out. Yeah, likely impossible.
It's been hit by the scan. Fnatic know what's up. They're ready to head over. The Tier 2 is ready to make a move. OG, they're stepping out of the pit. They know it's likely that Fnatic's looking for a fight, and OG want to be the ones to get the jump from the smoke. Smoke up as well from Fnatic. EZM trying to poke Juragi. Will be able to get in onto DJ. They'll look to blow up the Miranda. They'll take him out. DJ's gone. Immediately buying back, making sure that Fnatic continue to have the 5 versus 5 ready around this Roche attempt.
Armel had to pop the BKB because Amar jumped him. So they know the BKB's down on the counter too. Fnatic.
They're going to look to try and maybe head back into the pit to continue forcing this Roshan.
They've got good spam with the ET. Another smoke.
From Fnatic here.
Glitter on cooldown 10 seconds. They do have Stone Gaze though.
Tiger, he's in position on the high ground. Roshan down to half HP at the moment. Juragi going to continue to go to work on him.
Bottom, the range racks is going to go down to the creeps.
Jab sweeping into the triangle, making sure that Tiger isn't able to hold this position to look for any sort of jump. Managed to get the wrap round, and now looking for the setup on Seb. X-Mark getting the arrow, Seb. He's going to be gone. No buyback available on Seb. At this stage, OG might have to just consider giving up on this Roche attempt. No, Juragi wants to try and commit. Pop the ult. Over to the side, Jabs gets the catch onto Amar. He can back into the X-Mark. Both combos straight away. Amar getting blown up. He's out of the fight. Juragi will find Jabs. Able to get some sort of a trade, and Amar buys back. EZM not able to really step anywhere close to Raven. Has to put the BKB to get away here. As Armel was looking for the setup with the X-Mark. You can just see this continued struggle from OG to really take any sort of fight into the faces of Fnatic.
And Fnatic, they got the gem there. I think BCM was trying to snatch it away, but Raven grabbed it. Now Raven claiming the high ground. BCM will finish the Aghanims. Bit more damage, bit easier access to the back lines, but still no way to address this Medusa by any means.
And all in on that purchase as well. So BCM goes down. He's going to be pretty much out for good.
I think they know. They're feeling that pressure. Armel soon having a Hex online too, so the catch for the Ember Spirit will be there.
Smoke time for OG. They have to find some insane jump.
They're going to get some crazy wraparound here. Genwell, he's reading it.
He knows that they're heading over. They'll still get a jump over towards him. Towards Genwell, Elton Titan, he's going to go down. They find a kill to start things off.
Buyback. They have the outpost.
Raven aggressively stepping up towards Amar. Over to the side, BZM's going to hunt down DJ, jump over towards him, take him out, that's DJ up for 70. Jabs, in onto the side, Tiger, looking for John Well, of course this was the buyback from him, he'll get the ult out, but he should die here to the right click. Juragi pulls it back into the rift, so now, situation, both supports down on Fnatic. But up to the side, Fnatic's cause still able to fight fit here. They don't need their support at this stage. Their cause is so farmed. Raven taking down Amar.
Juragi attempts to go back in.
BKB's available here for Armel, so he should be fine. He's holding on to it. Tiger waiting for the sniper jump. There it is!
He's found it!
He's in! He's caught the true cause here with the black hole, but is there the damage? There isn't! The Stone Gaze is out from Raven. Fnatic are looking to clean up the fight. Armel will go down. BZM will put the BKB, but he's out of mana. Raven and Jabs chase him out. Jabs in with the stun. He'll fall as they take him return, but can they deal with Raven? He's on his own. The buyback comes out. They've got to commit everything to try and take down this Medusa. Raven left solo here in the game, but he's so fast. He'll opt for a TP out for Uragi. He's in with a blink stun. There'll be a buyback from LML trying to get back over to help out Raven, but Raven, he might not even need the help.
He's hit 25.
He's on his own, standing his ground against BZM and said they've got to kill this Medusa, but they just can't. OL in with the backup. X-Mark on towards it. The flight dodge is there. Will keep BZM alive. He needed exactly that because he did buy back. They'll stay alive. But we're seeing exactly what we expected, the struggle when it comes to dealing with Raven. Even when he's the only one alive on Fnatic, OG, it's so hard to even get close to killing him.
And look what he finds, a full regen all the way back up to full HP.
And now over towards the Roshan. They should be able to grab this for themselves. Aegis from the Shard. Tiger, he gave it his best effort. They're coming in with the Black Hole, but I think what the Stone Gaze was off in time.
He did get it in time.
It gets put to a stop. Yeah, Raven, perfect reactions there from him. And with no Black Hole for 100 seconds, Fnatic, they know there's no threat of a team fight to come from OG around this pit. This Roshan, it's all theirs.
And right before the fight, he even bought a full Aghanim's on Raven too, so the CK, those Phantasms just get stoned up and then cleared in seconds from the split shot. And hits 25 right toward the end of the fight.
And he's got the Shard.
Yeah, he's got pretty much the absolute dream on the Medusa. Aghanim's, Shard, level 25 online with the Paladin Sword and Scotty. So has the double dip, or has the dip with the Paladin Sword, has the Scotty slowing all the split shot attacks too. Now a Hex also for Armel, so BZM might just get caught and die.
He's got to be quick with those BKBs, ready to preemptively use it. He's had some good moves with the slight dodges to break out the X-Mark combo, but indeed that Hex is going to put a stop to that sort of attempted escape completely. Fnatic, they smoke up behind Raven, they're ready to get back on with the push. And ready to look for more barracks here with this window where there's no Black Hole. The one thing that could maybe provide some sort of opportunity for OG to turn this game around. Outside of that, Raven should be able to continue this movement towards the victory.
Look at the positioning, Genwolf super far back. Amar gonna start poking.
A little bit of a tease for Raven. The X-Mark into the arrow. It's there. Amar caught at the front. Seb having to back off. Jabs gets in on top of him. That's the partner down. No buyback available for Seb. Uragi will try and control Jabs, but the BKB's up. Jabs rolls away to safety. BZM with his own BKB trying to commit in towards Fnatic, but Amar caught again by the torrent. He's out of the game. No buyback on him. As Fnatic, they'll take down the top set of racks. Nothing that OG can do to stop them.
Raven can just clean it up now. No remnants remaining on BZM. Tiger Black Hole available, but no damage to throw into it. That should just be the Megas.
They can't stop this push from Fnatic. Aegis still on Raven. OG, they'll probably hold in for one final attempt at a team fight. But this whole 35 minutes game, they've never been able to find the opportunity to kill the Medusa. And that's certainly showing with how stacked Raven is now. As he's ready to keep pushing on and looking to close this game up.
Flawless game from Raven and Armel. Armel does die once, 8-1, but the impact that he was able to have from lane to now. Raven now TP's back, gonna get X back in, and then they're gonna look to close this one up. OG, last fight.
How are they doing on the buybacks? Just a buyback available on Tiger. So we'll have a couple of chances to look for that Black Hole. Outside of that, anybody going down on OG will probably mean the Gs will start to be coming out. Uragi, he's trying for the background from the backlines. Get the side to Hex, straight away on the BZM. BZM, arrow well, again, DJ in with a follow-up. This is going to be BZM surely going down. Caught in the combo, he's out for 2 minutes. Uragi will try and set up on the DJ, but Raven's in with the Stone Gaze. OG have to back off. Amar trying to run, but the X-Mark's there from Amar. He's out, 3 dead, no buybacks available on them. As we should see them call it very, very shortly. Nothing to be done here now. GG, it's called Fnatic. This game too, it's all theirs, and it really is. It's all theirs. This whole game, Fog. It never looked like Fnatic were under any sort of pressure. They set it up perfectly for the Medusa. This was one of the reasons why this team around Raven's Medusa, they just get win after win. They have mastered this style.
This looked at their full comfort, right? Just playing around the Kunkka X, playing around with the arrows too. A lot of credit to DJ OE being there at the right time to get the follow-up arrows. Jabs too, with an unorthodox pick. The Earth Spirit, Naked Vestal, worked out perfectly. It felt like they just had OG's number completely from the mid lane, to the bottom lane, to even the top lane, everything just went Fnatic.
Brilliant. And John Well bringing the Elder
He did.
action and having a very good show. 1, 2, and 18. I think pretty much, yeah, involved in the majority of the kills. It all worked out for him.
Yeah, they set themselves up perfectly. The lanes, love the way that they set them up. I was a little doubtful just because the ET hero overall right now in this meta can feel a bit lackluster, but when you're playing versus Enigma, versus these summons, when you have this super carry like a Medusa, ranged hero, you can see why they went for it. Excellent draft, excellent execution by Fnatic.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The second series of the day once again going to a game 3 with Fnatic taking this game 2. Raven 5-0-11 at the end of it. Can't wait to see what sort of impact this has on that third game draft. Fnatic, when they get this sort of lineup, they seem unstoppable. 1-1 now between Fnatic and OG.